Welcome to another session of the weekly forecast, and this video is going to be the forecast for 28th of April to I think 2nd of May. Let me just double check. Yep, 2nd of May. Okay. Moving on, we would need to take a look at the economic calendar. Right, so let's take a look at the economic calendar before we start to look at the charts. All right, so we have high impact news on Tuesday 10 a.m, Wednesday 8:15, 8:30 and 10 a.m. Wow, quite action packed on Wednesday. Thursday we have 8:30 and 10 a.m. Friday we have NFP, I think. Yeah, so next week is NFP week. Interesting. Alright, so getting back into the charts, looking at the weekly time frame, it is pretty safe to assume that we are going to reach for this high right here, and probably the low-hanging fruit for ES would be this volume imbalance. For Nasdaq, because we are right up here, we can take a look at the grading of the wick, if not this week. Okay, so for me personally, I'll be looking at something like this for low-hanging fruit objectives, and then we have this as well, low-hanging fruit objective, and then the wick right here as well, low-hanging fruit objective. But I think that we are going to reach for this swing high here within the next 2 weeks. That is how I think. For Dow Jones, it's the one that is lagging behind. So for Dow Jones, it's a very simple draw. That would be this fair value gap right here, and if Dow Jones can draw up into this fair value gap, so can ES and Nasdaq draw up higher, trade higher. Okay, do keep in mind that we are going to have a new monthly candle on Thursday, so because of this we have to look at the monthly chart. Now, because the nature of the narrative right now for next week is bullish, we do expect to see us trade above whatever high that is formed in April. So if we take a look at April's high and then we drop into the weekly time frame, it would be this candle's high. Okay, so if this candle's high is the next draw on liquidity, obviously we're going to reach for this high. Makes sense? Now, if you're not targeting this high, you can actually target this volume imbalance right here, because there was no body overlapping it. It was only the candle's wick. So it is more likely to draw back into this volume imbalance. Volume imbalance is a more flexible PD array that price will revisit many times until we have a body overlaying it like this. Okay, so right here there's a volume imbalance, but for Nasdaq we have overlapped the volume imbalance with the candle's body. Okay, so this at the same time, if you see volume imbalances on the weekly time frame, it is usually a new week opening gap, right? Now for next week, I do anticipate us to trade lower into the opening price of this candle, or maybe for NQ this candle right here, in order to go higher. Okay, so let us look at the volume imbalance here as a form of support to go higher, because right now NQ is the one leading the charge towards higher prices. And then for ES, I would be looking at this down close candle for support to go higher. So dropping down into the daily time frame, you can see that on Friday we did tag into the weekly bullish order block, and then for Nasdaq, same thing, we tagged into the new week opening gap on Friday as well. Okay, there is a fair value gap on Nasdaq, no fair value gap on ES, no fair value gap on Dow Jones. In this case, we can identify that Nasdaq is the one that is more bullish because it created a fair value gap. Okay, so what we can actually look for is price coming back down into this new week opening gap that is in line with the new day opening gap right here, which is the volume imbalance on the daily time frame, to go higher, because we don't really need to take out Friday's low to go higher, because Nasdaq is more bullish than ES and YM. At the same time, you can see that there's a crack in correlation whereby Nasdaq formed a fair value gap, ES and YM did not. Therefore, the likelihood of us trading down here is quite low in my opinion. Okay, dropping down into the 4 hours time frame, over here we even have a closing price above the down close candles for the 4 hours. Okay, so any price returning back into this down close candle is worth a long entry, at least for the first half of the week, right? Because I am assuming that we're going to open around this price right here. So any retracement lower, this two down close candles is your bullish order block. Now, if we consolidate on Monday and then we trade below 50% of this down close candles, then I would be open to the idea that we might want to take out Friday's low to go higher. However, with Monday being an expansion, then I don't think that's going to be the case. Okay. And I think that's pretty much it. Let me take a look at the 1 hour. Alright, there's nothing much that I can comment on the 1 hour, because on Friday price action was really choppy. It can be seen by the long wicks over here, and if you drop down into the 15 minutes, it would be even clearer that the AM session right here was just a total chop fest, right? So I think that's about it, and I hope you enjoyed this session here. TLDR, we are bullish for next week, and we are looking to attack April's monthly candles high by the end of the week. Okay, and that's it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll talk to you again.